Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to dive into something I think we've all felt. That frustrating, fascinating reason our brains seem to work against us. Getting stuck in these thought loops and habits we just can't seem to break. I mean, let's start with the feeling we all know, right? That feeling of being trapped. You're trapped in a cycle of overthinking, a loop of worry, or a bad habit. You know you should stop, but somehow you just can't. It really feels like you're stuck in mental quicksand.
You know, there's this old saying that just absolutely nails the internal battle we're going to unpack. When your mind is serving you, you're focused, you're in control. But when it becomes the master, well, you're just along for the ride, and it's not always a fun one.
And this right here is probably the single most important thing to get from the get-go. The reason it's so hard to stop is not some kind of personal failing. It is not that you lack willpower. It's actually a feature, not a bug, of how your brain is designed to operate.
Okay, so if it's a feature, how the heck does it work? To really understand what's going on inside our heads, we need to meet the two competing captains who are constantly fighting to steer the ship.
So here's the fundamental conflict. On one side, you've got your wise leader. This is your prefrontal cortex. It's the part of you that thinks logically, that plans for the future, and makes all those deliberate, smart choices. But, and this is a big but, it is an absolute energy guzzler. On the other side, you have the autopilot, your basal ganglia. This guy runs on pure emotion and habit, craves immediate rewards, and get this, it's unbelievably energy efficient.
And that leads us to a really crucial point. Your brain is biologically biased to prefer the autopilot. And why? Well, it all comes down to energy conservation. Your brain's number one job, right after keeping you alive, is to be as lazy as possible to save fuel. And habits, it doesn't matter if they're good or bad for you, are the ultimate energy savers.
So how does the autopilot maintain its grip on the steering wheel? Well, here's the thing. It doesn't play fair. It has a playbook of incredibly powerful tricks that are wired deep into our evolution.
First up, immediate gratification. Your brain's ancient limbic system doesn't really care about the future. I mean, not really. It's wired for survival right now. And what that means is it will almost always choose a small, instant reward over a much larger one that's delayed. It wants that guaranteed dollar today, not the promise of $100 next year.
And you know what's brilliant at exploiting this system? Bad habits. Scrolling on your phone, eating a sugary snack. These things offer a quick, easy, massive spike of that feel-good chemical, dopamine. They are a shortcut to pleasure that good long-term habits like studying or hitting the gym, they just can't compete with in the moment.
You've probably heard this famous saying in neuroscience, and it is the absolute key to understanding how these shortcuts become physically ingrained in your brain. This isn't just a catchy phrase, it's a biological reality. Every time you repeat an action, you are literally changing the physical structure of your brain.
I want you to think of it like this. Every single time you repeat a bad habit, you are paving and widening a neural superhighway. That connection gets thicker, faster, more efficient. Now, trying to start a new good habit, that's like hacking a tiny dirt path through a dense jungle with a machete. It's slow, it's hard work, so when your brain has a choice, which path do you think it's going to take? The path of least resistance, every single time.
So the autopilot strengthens this superhighway using a really simple but crazy powerful process called the craving loop. It starts with a cue, a trigger, like turning on the TV or feeling stressed. That cue leads to the action, reaching for a snack, which leads to the reward, boom, that satisfying dopamine hit. Do this enough times, and the cue itself is enough to trigger a powerful craving, making the action feel almost automatic, like you're not even in control anymore.
So all of this is building up to that critical moment when we feel like we've lost all control. The moment I'm calling the willpower hijack.
And here it is. This is the absolute key to the entire puzzle. The autopilot's secret weapon, the thing that allows it to stage a full-blown coup inside your head, is stress. Stress and fatigue are the triggers for a complete and total takeover.
Okay, check this out. When you're rested and you're calm, your wise leader, that logical prefrontal cortex, is online and it's in charge. The autopilot is just on standby. But the moment you get stressed or tired, your brain kicks in this emergency energy-saving protocol. And what's the first thing to go? It shuts down the most energy-hungry part, your wise leader. So who's left to take complete command? You got it, the efficient, instinct-driven autopilot.
So that feeling of giving in at the end of a long, hard day, when you eat the junk food or you scroll for an hour instead of reading that book, that is not a moral failing. It's not you being weak. It is a predictable biological response. Your brain has physically, and I mean literally, temporarily lost the capacity for conscious willpower because it's saving energy. The autopilot is just running its most well-paved, most efficient program. So, okay, we've pulled back the curtain on the autopilot's playbook. What is the big takeaway from all of this? I mean, what's the point of knowing that the game is kind of rigged against you? Well, ultimately, it all boils down to this. This isn't a battle of you against yourself. It's a predictable, biological conflict between your deliberate, energy-intensive, wise leader and your efficient, habit-loving autopilot. And that autopilot is smart. It uses dopamine shortcuts and the craving loop to build those neural superhighways, and then it just waits. It waits for you to get stressed or tired to stage a complete takeover.
So just understanding this internal game, that is the first and honestly the most crucial step. It's not about blaming your brain, it's about learning its rules so you can work with it, not against it. This knowledge empowers you to consciously support your wise leader, manage your energy, and start slowly but surely hacking a new path through that jungle. So the question is no longer, why can't I stop? The real question is, what new path will you start paving today?